You see this guy? He's a simp. And I'm not saying that because he did like an overly nice thing for a woman he's interested in. No, he throws his life away for a street dweller. But we'll get to him later. This story starts with the homie Leo. Now, Leo's friends and family say that he's a very upbeat and very sociable kind of guy. Leo was also an avid pool player. He even had like this collection of trophies that he's won from all the tournaments he's played in over the years. And it's also known he has no problem talking to the ladies. All seemed to be kind of going well with Leo until something strange happened at his apartment complex one day. Residents of the apartment complex began complaining of a strong odor coming from one of the apartments. The police are called and they arrive on site to find the source of the stench. Unfortunately, police uncover a victim, slumped over in his bathtub, covered in a pool of blood. Turns out the victim was Leo. He had multiple stab wounds in and around his chest and a throat laceration that went from ear to ear. Now, while detectives are analyzing and investigating the crime scene, they notice there's a safe on the kitchen counter. Now, this safe was probably mounted at some point because there are holes in the back of the safe, and the holes are large enough for the police to shine a flashlight through, and they could see into the safe and see that the safe was empty. Detectives were also able to lift 2 sets of fingerprints from the side and top of the safe. Keep this in mind for later because it's an important detail. Another detective on the scene starts asking some of the people gathering outside of the apartment if they can offer any solid information. One woman comes forward and says that she knew the victim. In fact, she takes it a step further and says that she used to date Leo. She says they dated for like 6 months, like 8-9 years ago. The woman says that he works at a club as a DJ. So later that night, the detectives go to the club where Leo worked at. After asking around, the consensus is that people haven't really seen Leo for about a week. One man says Leo had this friend, and let's just call him Peter. He says that Leo and Peter had a falling out, and he wasn't sure exactly what the falling out was about. The detectives head straight to Peter's house as they think he may be a suspect. But as detectives are interviewing and questioning Peter, Peter comes off as mad chill. I mean, he's answering all their questions and seems relaxed. Right before detectives leave, Peter mentions in passing that Leo was messing with this new chick. Let's just call this chick Marina. He says he saw them flirting with each other at the pool hall about a couple weeks ago. And you guessed it, police make a beeline for Marina's home, and she's willing to come to the station and answer some questions. She tells police that she learned of Leo's death on the news. However, there's something about Marina's demeanor that kind of seems off. She doesn't seem sad. She doesn't cry at all when she talks about the moment she learned of Leo's death. In fact, she kind of comes off as a bit nonchalant. When cops asked her if she loves Leo, she said, a little bit. They also asked her if she knew Leo had a safe, but she denies knowing anything about a safe. Detectives believe Marina's telling the truth, and they let her go. But before they let her leave, they take fingerprints. Tell me why. The detectives get a phone call the very next day from the forensic lab, and they drop the bomb. They actually found a match on the fingerprints that were lifted from the safe. And guess whose fingerprints they were? Marina's. The same one who said she didn't know nothing about no safe. Yeah, Shorty straight up lied. So the cops bring Marina back in for questioning, but this time they get a little bit more aggressive with her. All of a sudden, Marina remembers that Leo did have a safe. At this point, detectives figure, you know what? It's time to let her know that we're on to her lies and that her prints were pulled off the safe. Now, during this interview, at one point, detectives actually leave Marina alone in the interrogation room. And almost immediately, Marina pulls out the phone and starts talking to someone. Now, this alerts detectives to start zeroing in on who Marina talking to, what she out here doing, because something's not right. So they basically ask her, hey, do you have any other dudes that you talking to? Any other boyfriends, anything like that? And at first, she denies it. But after some pressure, she gives up her current boyfriend's name. His name is Jerry. And after pressing Marina some more, She says those magic words. He's the one who did it. The police ask her to tell all the details, and she does exactly that. She spilled all the beans. She tells detectives that Jerry planned out everything. She says that Jerry killed Leo with a knife and dumped it in the lake. She even leads police to the murder weapon that was tossed in a nearby lake. Excavators search the lake and find the murder weapon. They tell Marina to contact Jerry on the phone right now to lock down his location. He works as a cook at a nearby restaurant. Once confirmed, police make the arrest and bring Jerry in for questioning. Turns out, Jerry is a super simp. Buddy think he in a movie somewhere because he tells police, "I'll tell you everything you want to know. Just let me see Marina's face one more time." The police allow him to look at Marina through a little peephole. Not long after that, Jerry confessed to the murder, admitting that he loved Marina and only wanted her for himself. He just couldn't stand the thought of someone else knocking it down. He tells police that they both devised a plan to rob Leo, as Marina knew he had a safe. But once there, Jerry said things took a different turn. He demonstrates to police how he came behind Leo while he was in the shower and slit his throat and stabbed him. Then, him and Marina left the scene to dispose of the murder weapon. Jerry was a fool in love who paid the price with his life. Him and Marina were sentenced to 33 years in prison. Moral of the story, it never pays to be a simp.